Umbrella Academy just revealed its latest diabolical creation, the woke virus, also known as the low T virus, where even zombies dye their hair purple and get offended by everything. Hit the like button, baby. Are you interested in a CW level drama starring edgy teenagers wearing designer clothes with immaculate hair, all in the backdrop of a zombie apocalypse with the name Resident Evil slapped on it? Wait a second. You don't care about this show? Well, go f yourself. Because somebody's wife's boyfriend will enjoy this show, and that's who we're catering to here at Netflix. We don't care if we lose billions of dollars for putting out this mind rot. We'll just keep adding gasoline to the dumpster fire and watch our stock prices plummet faster than Joe Biden's testosterone. See, I still can't believe someone was dancing to a Dua Lipa song in Resident Evil. I am speechless. Even taking into account that this show is set in an alternative universe, it's still insufferably horrendous. This is one of the only times I can remember where I'm actually rooting for the zombies to kill everyone. At this point, it feels like Hollywood has a vendetta against Resident Evil. It's either that or Capcom gives the rights to Resident Evil to the worst people ever, just to laugh at the end result. When it comes to adaptations, Capcom has been the neglectful parent who doesn't care if Resident Evil overdoses in a stranger's windowless van, no matter how many times you try and squish the wokeness bug. It just keeps coming back. Netflix will end up getting the same spanking Disney is getting, because the secret to Netflix is this: number one, everything they do is woke garbage until you hear otherwise, and number two, revisionism is our number one priority, because Wesker looks like he had some kind of strange side effect to the virus. Now I'll say this, according to the law, Wesker's whole design and backstory was deliberately meant to be blonde and blue-eyed, because his whole creation came from literal eugenics and the horrifying lengths that Spencer went through to produce a super soldier. So in this specific case, yes, Wesker should probably stick to the source material as close as possible so his character is fully fleshed out to coincide with the actual story. Now, part of what made Wesker iconic was his look, the slick back hair with the aviator glasses. Wesker is a comically evil character and his douchebag look is part of it. Look, I like Lance Reddick as an actor because he can pull off that stoic, sinister, imposing figure. But for this specific role, he was set up to fail by Netflix big time. I genuinely hope Lance Reddick's career doesn't take a hit for crashing into this iceberg. And to be honest, that's not even the worst part about this show, because the writing is absolutely god-awful. The characters are oh so annoying and the story is below average. Imagine taking a pre-established legendary game franchise and just wiping your ass with it. I mean, I thought Resident Evil was copyrighted. Well, clearly I was wrong, because I guess anyone can use the name now. So, Wesker's Whaman dropped a few days ago, and well, there's an incredibly awkward moment you realize when you're watching the show, is that the Mila Resident Evil movies will not be the worst live-action Resident Evil adaptations ever made. That's the only winner here, by the way, the old movies, who will now look infinitely better if only in comparison to this dumpster fire. Perhaps I was too harsh on those Resident Evil movies all these years. Anyway, so this Netflix show, it's almost like they listen to the ideas that their children have. They watch their kids play with Lego and then use that as a premise for the show. They watch their kids play with Lego every night and then use that as a premise for the show. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyway, I gotta say though, there was one moment in the show that literally made me have tears in my eyes. One of the characters enters the Umbrella facility and says, "I sense some Resident Evil." That sent shivers down my spine. I've never been so moved. I have never been so moved by a piece of dialogue in my life. Just so stunning and brave. Look, the reality is this. Whoever wrote this shit It should never be allowed to work again. The characters are extremely unlikable. You literally want them to die. The fact that there were multiple people in the writer's room tossing around ideas and dialogue around for hours, if not days, and this is the best they can come up with, just screams incompetence. They have all this material, all this lore, character, story, etc. They don't need to create something from scratch. All they need to do is just use all the tools that have been given to them and create something entertaining. That's it. This series is such a layup too. Just make it dark, gritty, and cast unknown actors to fit the original live action cutscenes from Resident Evil 1. But no, we get served dog water. If you gave a Resident Evil fanfiction writer a camera, a couple of monsters, and like a $2,000 budget, they would make a show 20 times more faithful than anyone at Netflix could ever dream of doing. Look, the bottom line is this: the directors and producers have massive egos to the point where they want to make their own spin or version of an adaptation to make it their own. It's not just Resident Evil, we just went through it with Lord of the Rings. They all think they can bypass thousands of pages of knowledge and blueprints, and all of us audience members have to suffer, and on that bombshell, Mannix